bring people from one show to another? Like, how do you combine all these efforts so that that time you're spending is actually productive?
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say for the record, if I were concerned about the money, where it's all going to come in from, and I needed to be strategic about all that, I probably wouldn't just be doing entertainment-based podcasts. Okay. It wouldn't make a ton of sense. But one thing to know about me is all of the things where I started, podcasting for me has always started as a passion project. It started for me as a hobby, never needed podcasting to ever generate a single penny for me ever. Back in the day, I was a very successful insurance agent, didn't need the money. I then decided, oh, wait, I'd love to leave my career as an insurance agent and become something to be able to allow me to do this thing I love in the world, which is create lots of content, whether I make money or not. But I've got to find a way to get away from the day job so I can create my own hours. So I have time to create all this content when I want to without feeling guilty about it. Outlining, 6 hours a day at the insurance office, my next 7 podcast episodes. That wasn't going over too well internally. So I needed to leave that. But I did need to generate income. So I created Podcast Answer Man. And Podcast Answer Man was the place where that's where I generated income. Now, I will tell you that those entertainment-based podcasts, there were a couple of ways those were generating money from me. Ad sponsorships, advertising straight out, affiliate marketing mentions, so affiliate calls to actions. There were donations coming in voluntarily, and I created something called Premium Plus Membership, which was extra content for those who really loved that content. So there's lots of ways you can make money from all of that stuff. So it wasn't so much I was doing all of those entertainment-based shows so that people would come to my Podcast Answer Man podcast and ultimately hire me as their consultant. However, even with that, when you have a show that can grow an audience into the tens or hundreds of thousands, which entertainment podcasts can do, I'm not going to do that with the expectation that people are going to come over and hire me for my paid products and services in my business. But when you have, let's just say, 60,000 people who listen to you every single week, which is what they did for the Lost podcast, though out of that, even if 2% of them might have an interest in what you do professionally and might be a possible client of yours, all you have to do is just drop a hint every now and then that hey, if you like this, you might want to check out my business podcast over at podcastanswerman.com. So I can do that every now and then. Now, with that being said, it makes sense that you can see how virtual assistant podcasts, that podcast alone is obviously going to attract people who would be more likely to be interested in my Podcast Answer Man. So whereas maybe 2 or 4 or 6% of my audience of a unrelated entertainment-based podcast might be interested in my business, another ancillary brand or an ancillary niche, anybody who's listening to the Virtual Assistant podcast probably is an online business owner. An entrepreneur. Yeah. Those are the people. And entrepreneurs could probably benefit from having a podcast. So that's why it was just a natural thing. And so I did not do a lot of cross promotion of the Podcast Answer Man because I actually was getting paid incredibly well from my sponsor for that podcast. But when I shut it down, the last 3 episodes, I spent maybe 3 to 5 minutes talking about, hey, this is the 3rd to last episode, and here's why you should subscribe to my main podcast. And then here's the 2nd to last episode. Next week's the final episode. You will not hear from me again in this podcast feed if you haven't done so already. And then, okay, so here you go. This is it. I've warned you. This is your last chance. If you ever want to hear my voice again, this is where you go. And I sent them all. And so with that, it's a very...
Thanks for watching Mark Savant Media. Here we're going to help you create a better content in less time and turn that attention into income. If you love this video, you're going to love these videos here. Click the one. Me and my team specially selected this just for you. Click the link. Check out the video. I'll catch you here next time on Mark Savant Media. Peace.